Hi guys, right, just the parcel arrived today, so I will open it. I know what's in this. Well, I think I know what's in this. There's not many parcels coming at the moment with this bloody lockdown, this coronavirus lockdown that we've been going through forever. There's probably other people out there that are just doing nothing but buy shit constantly, buying things off Amazon and eBay and everywhere. Yeah, this is what I thought it would be. Just recently, as per some of my other videos, I've sort of started building a lot of British armour. This one I've done, really enjoyed that. Great decal scheme on that one. Followed up by Matilda. There's a fantastic paint scheme on that one, really enjoyed doing that. I've just about finished this one here, the Churchill. Good kits. I mentioned on some of the Facebook sites that it didn't have these little tops in the kit for the periscopes, but sometimes they didn't have them on. Some of the pictures I've seen from World War II of Churchills, they didn't have these on, but I'll probably put some on because there's some spare ones in the Matilda and the Centaur, and I've ordered some blue stuff, so I can make some more as well. That's that. So next in line, I did see a video build of this online, and it looked a really interesting camo pattern. So this is the Miniart Valentine 5. Lovely looking kit. In fact, the turret there looks a little bit like a tiger, without the big 88 of course, but yeah, it's a similar sort of shape to the tiger. Looks a nice kit. It's a Miniart kit, so this will be a bit of a long build. Let's have a look. 655 parts, so not a lot for Miniart really. But it's yeah, there's another colour scheme on there as well, which looks quite nice. It looks a little bit rushy actually, but no, it looks quite nice. It's almost slightly reminiscent of a T-34-76, that one, but no, I'm quite happy with that. So just for you and for me, I'm going to open this box up. I'm going to take a look at what's in the box. If you've not built a Miniart kit before, or not even owned one, not looked in the box of one, as I mentioned, they often have like a large kit, a large part count on these. Some of the ones have got like well over 1,000, 1,200 pieces, but they're very well detailed, and you know, almost too many parts. Sometimes the Tamiya kits are great to do if you're just feeling like you want a bit of an easier time with your mind putting things together, and the Tamiya kits always go together well and look decent, make up a nice kit. But sometimes you just want something that's going to test you as well. We've also got, oh yeah, we've got photo etch parts in here as well. 2 plates, whatever they call them. Let's have a look. Let's get into the box here if we can. There we are. So not as full as some of the Miniart kits that I've got in this stash. Some of them are like chocker, but they're always really nicely packaged. We'll have a look at this first. So here we've got the different colour options. and this is definitely the one that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to put it on a dried lake bed, a dried riverbed, and I'll use some of the crackle effect that I used on another build. Where is it? Where's my crackle effect? I think it'll be up here actually. Yeah, it is. That's a crackle paint. You can get it from various places, but this crackle paint is quite good. Just paint it on, it crackles up. Looks like the effect you get on a dry lake bed. So we've got 3rd Division, New Zealand Division, is it? Tank Squadron, 2nd in Command's Valentine, Nissan Island, February. 3rd Troop, Sergeants Valentine of 3rd New Zealand Division, Tank Squadron, Nissan Island, February. So that looks a nice camo scheme. It's you know, green with these like that looks really nice. A really clever suspension system on these tanks, I believe. And then this one, Adonis, is a Valentine 5 stationed on the island of Malta. So it's a Maltese one, so I might have to do a little building something there. Let's have a look. Is there any more? Normally some on the back as well. Yep. So we've got a 5th Regiment of Hunters of Africa, French. A Valentine 5 of the School of Armour in Wallaroo in the 1950s. So that's a French one. That's nice, actually. 1950s one. And then we've got troop leader of 1 troop and A Squadron, 2nd Regiment and 27th Armoured Brigade, England, 1943-44. So again, really good colour schemes. As for the instructions, you've got all the sprues here and clearly marked the ones that we aren't going to use, dark ones. Let's get a few extra parts. Internal, fairly standard for Miniart kits. You know, even if you don't get the full interior, you will get a seat, and then you've got the gearbox and a few little controls there. So if you've got the driver's hatch open, you can have a little look in there, and there's a little bit of detail. That's quite nice. I wish more kits would do that actually, because I'm bloody crap at doing figures, so I very seldom put them on, but I like my hatches open most of the time. Nicely put together. So it looks like we've got link and length tracks. So the links you can put together here to make up the curved parts, and then you've got the lengths that go on the straight bits. That's always good, although it is a bit painful. But because this is all open in the suspension area, it's not too bad. It's a bit painful sometimes when you've got side skirts on and things that you can't take off as a sub-assembly. It's sometimes quite nice to be able to use a rubber track or something to, you can do the tracks up separately and then put them on, whereas this has all got to be made up before you can paint it, which is alright, you know, certainly in this case. Looks a little bit similar to the Matilda at the back there with the, I think the Matildas go that way. Again, I mentioned there's a lot of very small parts, a lot of quite fiddly little parts that on some kits they would just be part of the moulding. You wouldn't need to put them on. It is what it is. Sometimes you want an easy kit, sometimes you want a harder kit. I have to say though, I think I'll have to go to opticians and get some new glasses before I start making this one and some of the other kits, some of the Ryfield models kits I've got. And I've got quite a few Miniart kits that I just won't attempt until I've got some decent glasses. It's a bugger that really, when you've always had 20/20 vision and you start getting older. Little bit of interior detail here. You've got the gun breech and some nice details. So again, when you've got your hatches open, you can have a little peer inside. Right, okay, so that's nice. So the radio box on the back of the turret, you've actually got the full radio system in there, to put in there rather. That's really nice. I like that. I've not really seen that without having a full interior. That is lovely. Again, tiny little parts. Got to be very, very careful taking these off. If you're unsure, if you're sick of breaking parts or little parts flying off when you're cutting them off the sprue, there's loads of different ways of getting around that. One of the ways that I use easiest is just to use some tape. Just put some tape behind the parts that you're taking off on the sprue, and then just cut them, and they just stick to the tape, and then you can just carefully take them off. Some people use blue tack, white tack. I find that sometimes pushing the white tack or blue tack into them can break them, whereas the tape, as long as it's a nice tacky tape, you can just gently rub that across and it'll keep them on. So we've got some fuel cans on the back, quite reminiscent to the Sherman, in the way that the decks on the back there are to be able to put all the fuel tanks or water cans on. And a couple of figures. Looks really good. I'm well impressed with the radio gubbins in there. Well impressed with that. Almost seems a shame to open it up, but I will be making this fairly soon. Maybe the next kit. I've got a couple on the go at the moment. So I always have a couple on the go. I think probably a lot of modelers out there will say the same thing. You might have a complicated one on the go, and you might want an easy one on the go. And there'll be times when you're waiting for layers of paint to dry. You know, primer. I always give my primers 24 hours to dry. I don't want to be not doing anything. So we've got in here, we've got 5 sprues of track. And in fact, there's no lengths in there. That is all individual track parts. So a bit tedious, but that's what it's all about. And it should provide some good detail. We've got photo etching here. So nice brass photo etch. Not masses, but little buckles, little grill covers, some nice things. We've got the decals. So some quite nice colours on the decals. Adonis. Looking at the plastic here, hopefully you can see Miniart. It's always well detailed. I don't know whether you can see that. It's always really, really well detailed. Very fine. Nice, nice machine going on there. esoteric parts. Right, there's some side skirts by the looks of it there, so we can put side skirts on or off. I might actually prefer to show that suspension system. So we've got a few different mantlets here as well, so a few options with the mantlets. Great for your like spare parts box are these ones. I also find the dragging kits are great for your spare parts box as always. Lots of optional extras. Figures look good. You can see the detail there on these figures. Some faces there. They look really nice then. Really nice. Little bit of flash. Certainly on that shovel. There's a little bit of flash. It's unusual to see on modern kits, but it is sometimes there. There's your top deck. And yeah, it's quite small. I would say it's probably a little bit bigger than a Panzer II. A bit smaller than a Panzer III maybe. Yeah, quite a small little tank that. It's an infantry tank, which essentially meant that they would travel with the infantry and they would normally be using high explosive rounds for taking out bunker positions and supporting. It certainly won't be going up against anything tasty like a Tiger or even some of the smaller Panzers. I think the armour was relatively light on these tanks, so yeah, if they even heard a Maybach engine they'd be off. They're getting the hell out of there. Somewhere where there'd be more use. Try to keep these in the bags because there's a lot of small parts there, and if you lose any, it can just look really shit when you sort of lose a small part. A lot of the things you can make with a bit of wire, a bit of fuse wire or whatever, but I don't like to mess around if I don't need to. So that is very, very nice indeed. So if you're thinking about getting this kit, I hope that helps. This one cost me 30 quid, 29.99, which I always think is a load of bollocks. It's 30 quid. What's the point in putting 29.99? It's not fooling anyone that it's 20 quid. It's 30 quid. But retailers still do it. Some of them. That's that. So if you like it, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and all that stuff, and I will do a build log if I ever get round to it. I often start them and then I never finish the video. I just get too into building that I just can't be bothered setting the camera up, and I certainly can't be bothered with all the editing and everything because I'm just not very good at it. You notice here though on the periscopes that they haven't got tops on either, so it was actually that's got a top on, those don't, so I think it was quite a common thing for them not to have tops, so I don't need to panic quite so much about that Churchill not having them, but I'm going to enjoy that. And there's that many colour options. Might even buy another one. We'll see. Kit number 35106, Miniart, Valentine 5. City.